Hi everyone, so let me tell you a little bit about French GCSE. I will try to give you an overview of what it's like to do French at GCSE level, to give you an idea of what the assessments would be like and the topics that we cover. So first of all, we do AQA for French, and I'm going to start with the papers that you would sit at the end of year 11. There will be 4 papers. The first one would be the listening. As you can see, you have a choice of foundation tier or higher tier. And it is very similar to what you're used to doing in terms of the questions. So you would listen to a short extract and then answer some questions either in French or in English. And that would be 25% of your GCSE. So that's the listening. Then you would do a speaking test with your French teacher. You would record it and then we would send it off to AQA to be marked. And that would be in April of year 11. And you would have 3 parts. First of all, a role play, then a photo card, followed by general conversation on topics that you would have learned over the 2 years. So that's your speaking. Moving on to the reading. So the reading paper is again 25% of your grade, and it's divided into 3 sections, as you can see. So questions in English, questions in French, and a short translation from French to English. Then finally, it would be a writing paper where you would have to write 2 short paragraphs, one 90 words, the other one 150 words. And then finally, a short translation from English to French. And again, that would be done at the end of year 11. So in terms of grammar, you would probably do a couple more tenses, and most of them you would have covered by the end of year 9. So really by the end of year 9, with all the tenses that you know, we said that you could be already on the grade 6 or 7, which I think is fantastic. And then obviously you would learn more vocab and a couple more tenses, like I've said, to get to the top grades 8 and 9. So in terms of the topics that we cover, they are divided into 3 sections, 3 themes. Identity and culture, with topics like me, my family and friends, technology in everyday life, free time activities, customs and festival in French-speaking countries. And we usually start with this one in year 10. It's a nice topic to start with in terms of transition. Like, for example, technology in everyday life, social media, something you would have done in year 9, but you go in a bit more depth. And then the second one would be local, national, international and global areas of interest, with topics such as hometown and region, social issues, global issues, travel and tourism. And to finish with, we would do current and future study and employment, with my studies, life at school, education post-16, jobs, career choices and ambition. So this is it really in terms of the assessments, the topics that you would cover. What I would say is the lessons are varied because we prepare you for 4 skills. So one day you might concentrate on some listening, the next lesson will be just speaking, or a range of activities during one lesson. So this is something that, you know, previous students have said that, you know, languages and French lessons always seem to be very varied, and we do lots of different activities. So why choose French? Well, I think languages are becoming more and more important in the world of work and in all sorts of careers. So it's something maybe to study at least GCSE level. It would give you a head start in travel, work, educational opportunities. So why French? Well, French is a world language. I don't know if you know, but 300 million people speak French on the 5 continents. It's a language for the international job market. I think the ability to speak French and English is an advantage on the international job market. So knowledge of French opens up the doors of French companies in France and other French-speaking parts of the world. It is as well the language of culture. So if you're interested in cooking, fashion, theatre and architecture, we always try to include them in our lessons with authentic materials, and it is always really interesting to discover another country's culture. It's a language for travel. So France is actually the world's top tourist destination, and attracts more than 87 million visitors a year. So if you can speak even a little bit of French, it makes it so much more enjoyable when you visit Paris or any other regions in France. It's language for higher education, whether you might think of taking it at A level, or even wanting to take a year out and go and travel to France for 1 year, or even try to study for a year in a French university. That could be something to think about. And as well, it's the other language of international relations. So organizations like the United Nations, NATO, the International Olympic Committee, they all have French as their official language, with headquarters in Brussels, Luxembourg and Strasbourg. And as well, I think it's a language that opens up the world. So an ability to understand French provides access to an alternative view of the world. And as well, I think, and the most important for me, it's a language which is fun to learn. So if you're already enjoying it now, I think you will enjoy it at GCSE level. And as well, it's a good base for learning other languages, whether it's your Spanish, Italian, Portuguese that you'd like to learn later on in life. I think having French could always be a really good base for that. So there we go. Hopefully I've answered most of your questions, but remember that on the 11th of January there will be 2 Google Meets, one at 5:15 with Mrs. Terry, one at 6:15 with myself, and obviously whatever questions you have, we'll try and answer them. And remember as well that some ex-students have put a little video together that your French teacher will show you at some point in the near future, and you can then see their point of view instead of me telling you how wonderful French is and that you should be doing it. I think hearing it from students is as well extremely important. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you on the 11th.